Oh, looks like I've got a missed message from Chris. Please call Chris ASAP regarding T.R.U. standard operating procedures. Okay, no worries. Yeah, g'day Chris, it's mate. How you doing? Yeah, I'm not too bad, thanks. Yeah, it's typical bleak winter day here, but how you doing? Not too bad? Okay. Yeah, you wanted to talk about T.R.U. standard operating procedures. Okay, no T.R.U. member shall own or wear North Face gear because they're... Look, I don't think you can describe people as that in this day and age, mate. I think things have moved on. Yeah, no, I don't wear any or own any North Face gear at all, so that won't be a problem. Yeah, okay. Yeah, actually I did see the drawing that Bill did. Yeah, excellent. He's really having another look and think about that print in the snow. Yeah, I've done some work on that myself. I'll send it to you and see what you think. It really makes you think about whether that could possibly be a thylacine print in the snow after all. Yeah, I'll send it soon. Cheers, mate. Bye. North Face. Hi guys, welcome to this analysis of the thylacine footprint in the snow. For those of us who follow the T.R.U. Facebook page, you'll remember that recently T.R.U.'s resident wildlife artist put up this excellent drawing of the context for this particular print that we have on the right hand side here. So this print was the focus of a video several months ago that Bill conducted, and he did a bit of an analysis on it through that video. But most recently he did this drawing that said, well, perhaps this might be a possible explanation of how this could be a thylacine footprint. Not saying that it was, of course, but it starts to make us all wonder. So in this video we're going to have a look at this particular print in a lot more detail to see whether we can actually work out or draw a conclusion as to whether it is a thylacine footprint or not. So you'll also remember this reward poster from the 1980s search around Tasmania. That these posters were put up everywhere for locals to actually determine whether any footprints that they found were thylacine related, so they could contact the person conducting the search, and that person conducting the search could come out and verify whether they were thylacine footprints or not. So from that poster we've taken out the right hind thylacine print, and we're going to use that for further analysis in this video. So our detailed analysis. Well, those again of you who are out there looking at our Facebook page will remember that under Bill's print and drawing, I put this particular photo and drawing together and basically asked the question as to what people thought. Well, there's an obvious error here, and we'll correct that with our next mouse click, and that's that the right hind print should be on the right, and if you actually look at the toe spacing and the layout on the actual footprint that's on the left, if it is an alleged footprint, then it's probably most likely going to be a left hind footprint, and so I've rearranged them to make them appear as they would. So what I want to do now is to have a close look at this and a close analysis. The first thing we want to do is have a look at this gap area here between the back of the toes and the arch of the pad and see whether there's any sort of similarity in this space here. Now, understanding, of course, that every animal is going to be slightly different even within the same species, so we can start to see, well, there is a little bit of similarity here. So to aid our analysis, I've drawn this little arc here. You can see that the arc there, it just sort of covers underneath all four toes. And I put that same arc, which is exactly the same size, because I just drew one arc and then I duplicated it multiple times to get a consistent size. You can see that whilst it's intercepting this toe, it is clearly under the other three. So with the differences between animals, you could think, well, maybe that doesn't rule it out. The next thing I want to do is I want to compare this with a dog print. I think it was Chris Boys on the Great Search for the Thylacine Facebook page who said this is a dog print. And look, it could well be, and we certainly respect everybody's opinions and views. So what about we do actually compare it with a dog print? And so here I have is the quintessential dog print. We understand that dogs come in many shapes and sizes, and so do their footprints. But this is the one most classically referred to as a dog print. So if we put our little arc in that, you can see that it intersects right through the middle of the two following toes. So it's quite different to this sort of arrangement, and here as well. So you'd expect that this toe here would be back towards this space, place sort of here rather than up here. So that kind of thing makes me think that maybe this isn't a dog. The next thing that Chris pointed out is the fact that there appeared to be an absence of claws. So whilst thylacines definitely have non-retractable claws, so this isn't a cat-like print. Perhaps Chris was saying, well, the claws are wrong for a thylacine. Well, what we actually see in the dog prints is that they're actually more of a circle than they are in comparison to the thylacine claws. And so when you actually have a look at those two features, and you can potentially detect just in here that there are potential claw marks in this space here. They're not super evident. That doesn't necessarily mean that it could be ruled out as a thylacine footprint because of that. In fact, it probably makes it more likely in many ways. The next thing that we need to do in any analysis is determine what context the print was made in. And I've come up with this term called evidential context. So it sounds quite fancy, but what does it mean? Well, the first thing is that the photo was taken by a trusted and knowledgeable source. So it's someone who knows the area, who knows what thylacine footprints look like, hence why they took the photo in the first place, because they thought it was a print of interest. And they also knew that there weren't any obvious signs that it could have been fake. There weren't a lot of people around, those kind of things. The next one is thylacine habitat. This is an area that could support thylacines. So it has the appropriate foliage, prey species, those kind of things to actually keep a thylacine population. The next one is the remote area. It's a remote area that's not frequently visited by humans or dogs. So therefore the obvious things, it's, is it a handprint? Has it been faked? Is it someone's dog that's got off the leash? Those kind of things have been ruled out. Now that's not to say that there isn't the possibility of a wild or a feral dog. That's always a possibility, but it's unlikely. The next one to consider is that bounties were paid in the area in the 19th and 20th century. When we have a look at where this location is and overlay it with maps of Tasmania from where bounties were taken, quite a number of bounties were taken in the area where this print was. The keys beside the print clearly show that it's too big to be either a wombat or a devil footprint, and these are the kinds of prints that are most frequently mistaken for a thylacine footprint. Now, we then go to the flip side to say that the snow melt around it also makes it difficult to be sure what it is. Now, given the actual thin layer of snow there, you can see that the body heat of an animal, particularly if it's doing what was depicted in Bill's drawing, has stopped and perhaps having a look or a smell. The actual body heat from that particular animal is actually going to melt a lot of that thin layer of snow. The other point that was raised by Bill, particularly in the drawing when he posted it on Facebook, is that the human mind likes to play tricks. We like to see patterns and things, and we like to leap to conclusions that just aren't true. So we need to take that into context. Is it just some random gathering of dots in the snow? Is it something completely different that we're just actually leaping to the conclusion that it's a thylacine footprint? So that now leaves us with our skeptometer. So here we are, the skepto. So what I've said here is that if this print was taken in 2012, or the photo was taken in 2012, I would give it a 3 out of 10. So that's actually saying that there's a 30% chance that I think that this is a thylacine footprint, which surprises me in that normally I would say that there's only a 1 or 2% chance, if that high, that thylacines are actually extant. That's the quality of this print and the actual things that I think make it look like a thylacine print. But at the same time, I'm saying that there's a 70% chance that it's something else. So it's a dog, it's a hand, it's just some random pattern in the snow. If this photo had, however, been taken in 1912, I'd be saying absolutely that's a thylacine footprint, or at least 80% chance it's a thylacine footprint. I wouldn't be spending any more time looking at it, and I'd just move on. So that reaches the conclusion of this particular video. I'd like to thank people like Luke Ray-Ratcliffe, who put the picture up on the Great Search for the Thylacine, and of course Kristen Edwards, the host of that particular page, for allowing it to go up, and the good questions and points that Chris Boys posed, and of course recognise yet again T.R.U's Wild Bill Flowers for his excellent artwork, and Bill is a professional artist, so anyone who is interested in getting good quality prints of his drawings should look him up directly on Facebook or on YouTube as the Snake Artist, and you might be able to purchase some of his fine quality artwork from him directly. That's it for this episode. We'll talk to you soon.